So yesterday I finished my base installation of Debian, and today I'm gonna continue on this track and install some basic software and configure the system a little bit. So that's the plan for the day. I do not know entirely yet what exactly I'm going to do, but for some aspects I am quite certain. I will set up the swap file because yesterday during the installation I did not create a swap partition because this is intended for a laptop with SSDs, and using a swap partition is not recommended in that case. And so yeah, basically, let me see. So here's my virtual box with the VM that I was working with yesterday. And for today, I want to do these things like configure console font. That's just to enlarge the font in the console so that it's larger and easier to see. Not only in the video but also for myself. So there's that, and then setting up the swap file. And then there's this installing Timeshift part, which is I still don't know if Timeshift is going to work because, like, according to one tutorial that I watched, they weren't able to get it to work with encrypted. With an encrypted LVM logical volume. So, but then I googled that issue, and there wasn't anything conclusive said about that. So I decided that I'm gonna try it anyway and see if I can get it up and running. So then I want to install Flatpak, and then I have written down here that, like, neo fetch. I don't know, like this is just like an entry for some other stuff that might be useful to have in the initial configuration step, but I haven't quite figured out what else to install here. So. But basically these 4 steps are the main things that I want to do today, and this Timeshift thing, I'm not sure like if it'll run without if you can use it on command line. You probably can, but I only saw it used with a graphical interface in tutorials, so I'll see if I can run it from the command line, because at this point my VM doesn't have a desktop environment or a window manager installed. So okay, enough for this introduction, and let's just go ahead and start up the VM. Okay, so let's do the font thing first. So that's sudo dpkg reconfigure console setup. Alright, so let's do that. Sudo dpkg reconfigure. What was it again? Console setup. Okay, so UTF-8 is basically the first 3 are, or the first 2 keep them at default settings, and over here, so yeah, I guess terminus is the only might be the only viable option here. think I tried these fonts in another VM before, and I think I remember that I ended up using Terminus. I think this VGA didn't look good. So yeah, I'll just go with Terminus. That's fine. The largest one. And oh, all right. So yeah, here we go. That's good. Okay, so this is done. Now let's install zram tools. Sudo apt update. Sudo apt. What is it? Install zram tools. It shouldn't be like this. It should be apt space install zram tools. Yep. Okay. So I feel like this font is looking too large or something. Maybe I could go and pick another one. Alright, I think this is fine. Clear. Okay, let me just set up the zram. So lsblk, here's all of my partitions and logical volumes and whatnot. So let's see. Yeah, by default it's 256 megabytes, and I should edit this configuration file. So sudo is what I'm doing right now. Sudo nano etc default zram swap. Etc default zram swap. So I should uncomment this, and right, so how much RAM did I give this VM? And like 400, yeah, okay, so I'll keep it at 50%. So there's 4 gigs of RAM that I gave this VM, but like my laptop has 64, and yeah, I'm not quite sure how large I should make that swap file. I think someone who had like (32 gigs), they set it to 25%. So yeah, I'm not sure, but like I guess I'll look that up later. Save and exit. So now, okay, now I need to reboot. I'm gonna just do one thing real quick. Okay, so this is to just like make it so that it logs into the console automatically without asking me for my username and password. I'm not sure if I'm gonna do that on my actual laptop. I probably will, I think, or maybe not. I don't know. But like in this VM, there's no point having that there. So let's see. Right, so let me check that again. There's a bunch of options here that the page I was looking at does not have, so okay, I'll just try it. If it messes it up, I'll just repeat. I'll just reinstall zram and all that. Okay, exit, reboot. All right, so what I'll do is I will shut down, go back to VirtualBox, and over here go to snapshots and installed zram, enabled autologin. So I'll take that snapshot. Okay, so the next step was to install Timeshift. Okay, so I'll go sudo apt install. What's going on with this font? Let's try this. Sudo apt install Timeshift. Okay. I haven't yet decided what I'm gonna install as far as like the desktop environment or window manager. Like I like awesome WM or like awesome window manager, but maybe a desktop environment is also good. So okay, let's see, man Timeshift. Okay, so it has a manual page. It's a short one. Okay. What's Timeshift list? That's probably listing snapshots. Well, I guess let me just shut down and take a snapshot in my VM so that I can just try out some things. Installed Timeshift. Let's start it again. So is there like anything here? It's pretty much the same information, it seems, as in the man page. Okay, let me just go ahead and do sudo timeshift -- create -- comments the man page was missing these quotes around after update. I thought it was weird, but Then I thought maybe they implemented it in such a way that it would concatenate the entire string until the next dash dash. But then what if you have the dash dash inside the comment? Yeah, like, but whatever, like, let's just call it first snapshot. And then don't need the tags. So what happened here? Create subvolume snapshot at. Okay, so it created, based on this, I think it created a snapshot for the root subvolume, but not the home subvolume. So let me see. Let's go to man Timeshift again. Here, like, they forgot the quotes around after update. They didn't forget them here, but over here they're actually not necessary. That's okay. No need to rant about that. Okay, let's just go Timeshift list. It doesn't even list without sudo. Okay, so it has the snapshot here. So like I have my first snapshot, right? So let me just go ahead and make a change. Like for example, let me install neofetch apt, or yeah, sudo apt install neofetch. Or I also wanted to, let me just kind of, I also wanted to install Flatpak. So even though Flatpak is basically, I don't know, like, are there any command line programs in Flatpak? There probably are, but I'm not going to install a graphical interface today. I'll just install these two things to make a change and to test to test Timeshift and see if it makes snapshots and all that. So I'll hit enter here, and let's install that stuff. All right, so that is finished. So now let's take another snapshot. Really? Why is it? Oh, right. First snapshot. There it is. So let's call it after installing, or like, let me just say installed neofetch, comma, Flatpak. All right, so now we should have two snapshots. So let me run like neofetch. Here we go. So let me go ahead and say man Timeshift restore snapshot. So let me try restoring a snapshot. Sudo Timeshift. Let me first list those. Sudo Timeshift restore 2023-08-05 underscore 15-52 dash 39. Okay, let's see what happens. Not something that I was expecting. Invalid command line arguments. What are you talking about? Why is it invalid? Oh, right, okay, I know why. That's because... Where's that man page? It's because it's not an argument to restore, but an argument to the snapshot option. Restore dash snapshot. Snapshot. Okay, let's do that. Let me just read this a bit carefully. Okay. Enter. Please save your work and close all applications. System will reboot after files are restored. Okay. Yes, let's do that. Failed to remove directory. Although, well, it does say, what's the exit code? 0. Okay, I guess this failed to remove directory thing is not a serious error because it exited with a 0 exit code. That's supposed to be like success. It does say restore completed. Snapshot will become active after system is rebooted. Well, before I reboot, I just want to see what it did. So it created a new snapshot before restoring this one. And now if I do reboot, I should be rolled back to the state before installing NeoFetch and Flatpak. So let's try that. So let me run NeoFetch and see if it... Nope, command not found. Okay, so sudo timeshift list. Okay, so I guess let me just do the restore again and restore to like get NeoFetch and Flatpak back. 160951 and sudo reboot. So NeoFetch. Okay, it's back. So it seems to be working. So I have all these snapshots. So right now I rolled back to this one. And okay, so let me actually delete those because they're distracting me. Timeshift. Delete snapshot. Let's see what. Okay, you just use the same form as for the restore option. Clear time. So timeshift list. Delete dash snapshot 2023/08/05 _16 15 16-15-54. Maybe, let me just, I don't know if this will work, but I'm curious if it'll be able to delete two at the same time. So 2023. Oh 08, 05, 16, 19, 27. This is a good thing about doing it in the VM, like just messing around like this with an actual machine would be just kind of, I would be very hesitant to just like try anything that is not like said explicitly in the manual, because like then I might have to just like reinstall everything or something. But in a VM you can test everything. So 16, 15, 54, 20, 23, 05, 16, 19, 27. Okay, this is removing snapshot. I think it only deleted one or something, or actually delete just the second one, but not the first one. Let me see. So I think it kept 16, 15, 54 like this one, number 2, but it deleted the number 3. So list, okay, so it doesn't delete them as expected. It just like read the last option, but it ignored the first one. So like the second option overwrote the first one. Yeah, like, okay, it is what it is. Okay, now I don't have those anymore. Let me just go like Timeshift help less and see if there is anything here that says home. Nothing. Sub volume, nothing. Manual page for Timeshift, sub volume, nothing. And I already searched for home, but here it is again, nothing. So no idea. It doesn't seem to be possible to include the home sub volume from the command line. In GUI there is an option. Or maybe there's like a config file where you can configure that. That actually makes sense, but then there's no information in the end page about any config file. It just says that there is a config file. Doesn't say anything about where it might be. I mean, I guess I could like, I don't know how to like, is there like a locate command or something? No. Well, I guess like if I just run sudo find root and like then name Timeshift, even like iname, case insensitive, Timeshift, maybe it'll find stuff that's relevant. Okay, so here's like various directories: user share Timeshift, user bundle, user, let's see, ls etc Timeshift, no, root, okay, default.json, timeshift.json. What is that like now? Okay, this does look like a config. Oh, here it is, include Btrfs home. Okay, I guess you can configure it. It's just like, I wish they included that in the man page, at least like pointed to where the configs are and stuff. But maybe, I mean, it is kind of not that difficult to find these files in your system. I guess that's fine. So let me take a peek at that Etsy. Again, so it has a default.json and timeshift.json. I looked at default.json. Let me see what timeshift.json is. I guess like this is the actual config. So based on what I see, it seems that you can only like include Btrfs root, which is just like the @ symbol, and Btrfs home, which is the @ home. Only those two subvolumes and nothing else apparently. Well, I mean, this is still not bad. I mean, this is a very easy to use system, and I like that it integrates with Btrfs. I'm not sure why it only uses two subvolumes, like because you could like have more, and in that case they wouldn't be included. But maybe the idea is that you would only want root and home included. I mean, I don't really like that kind of approach. I just like to have like as many options as possible. But I mean, it's still good. Yeah, I mean, it is set to false right now. I'm not going to like do the whole thing with like testing it again. I guess it's pretty obvious that you can enable it even without a GUI, because I've been like doing this for like almost approaching like 2 hours at this point. Well, 1 hour 38 minutes, but still quite a long time. So let me just clean this up and wrap this video up. Okay, so I guess this is like where I'm gonna leave it for now. So I have, let me see, I have basically done all of these things, and Timeshift is working, so that's good. So I have solved that. Like that's no longer a question whether that is gonna work or not. I installed Flatpak and well, NeoFetch, just like a minor thing, but still nice to have. It shows you all the information about your system. So yeah, so I ran through these steps and everything worked. I set up swap, console font, did all of that. So at this point I'm going to shut this VM down, and I'm gonna go back to my virtual box and take a snapshot saying installed NeoFetch and Flatpak, so that everything is there are like points to which I can return if need be. So alright, this is gonna be the end of this video. This is where I'm gonna wrap it up. Thanks for watching. I hope you found this useful. I'm still not entirely sure how I'm gonna like be editing these things, because I'm just like recording myself going through this process, and hopefully that helps some people with like their Linux related stuff, because like as you can see, I don't know everything about these how to set these things up, but like if you just kind of fiddle around with it and just like look some things up, you are usually able to configure it. So like if someone is thinking like, well, Linux is so complicated, there's all these like command line and like all of this like a lot of configuration files, like a lot of really technical looking stuff, and I don't know how to do that. Like, to be honest, like neither do I, or like I do like for certain things that I already did, but at some point I didn't. and I just looked it up, and then I tried it, and then I worked it out. So like that's how you learn these things. I guess that might be at least part of the purpose of these videos that I'm making, and also like just to create a tutorial. So yeah, but basically you can set up a VM like this and just like mess around with it. You can run VirtualBox on Windows, on a Mac. I used to like, I still have a Mac that I previously used, and like I ran Linux in the VM on my Mac before, and like so you can test things out, you can see how it works, and then when you buy, if you don't already have a machine to run Linux on, you can, when you buy one, you'll be ready and you'll know what to do. So I guess yeah, that's kind of what I wanted to say there, and yeah, I hope you found this video valuable, and yeah, this is it. Thanks for watching, and I'll see you in the next one.